Hi guys, I am back with my part two, the story of my life from Uganda to the lion's den in Canada. And my part two is going to be basically about the marriage. After I got convinced, I'm like, oh, I finally found a man. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But I have good news, by the way. I mentioned in my first video that I was processing my divorce. Guys, I'm so happy. I feel so relieved for a part of this struggle that I'm in. I got my divorce order, guys. I can't even believe, but this is what it looks like. I am so excited for my freedom. I hope someone else out there find the strength to do exactly what I did, because you might be needed to be serving God's purpose and you're stuck in a trap where they laid it. And it's not just even the women, even the men out there. Many men have been trapped by witches. So I am praying that people find strength in getting out of the mess, in getting out of the traps that they have been made to just believe and fall victim of it. So please find courage. You might be outside wherever you are from. I don't know, but I'm just making sure that this reaches everybody. It's men and women. We are a target because the devil knew that when the family is strong, the other humans are going to be strong. So it's been coming after people who are looking for love and sending wrong people. So men out there, just like I said for the women, men out there, be careful. When you leave home, guys, I've seen two other videos from men from Africa crying, talking about this community. I don't know which community, but I just watched the video. So please find strength and just ask the Lord to lead you, because I was in a place where I didn't know what to do. And for my case, I have had 3 children that relies on me, but I found strength. So you can find strength. So let's go to where I stopped last time with the marriage proposal. So once John convinced me, guys, I went ahead and it was good feeling, because I was in love with the guy. And I remember telling his cousin, I'm like, I think your cousin really loves me. I don't think that guy can even lie to anybody about me. I actually told my friends, she's my very good friend, but they're cousins with my ex. So I truly trusted that finally I found true love. So I said yes, and next was to break the news to my family. So my mom, um, I lost my father. I told you guys I'm a orphan. I don't have a father, but I have a brother that has been playing the role, our firstborn, my elder brother. So he plays the role of our father. But I couldn't call these two people at the same time. So I invited my mother to my home, and I broke the news to her. I told her, I am talking to so and so, and he's proposing to marry me. My mother knows. My mother is actually within the age groups with the parents of this person, and they have known one another when they were going to school. There is actually very strong knowledge about my family and this guy's family, but I had no idea that much. So I told my mom, and what I do remember is my mother paused for like 3 seconds, and she put her hands on her chin, and she made a comment based on her knowledge on the family. But I convinced her and I said, oh, this person has been outside and maybe it's different. Like he said, like he was like, oh, I'm not like an African man, but I'm here to appreciate your African man. You wouldn't do something like this to me. I think if I got a man that was based home. I know that people have had issues, but to bring somebody's child with the children in a foreign land with the intentions that I finally realized there was so much hidden agenda behind this person coming into my life. But anyways, so that was my introduction to my mom, and I was positive because I'd really fallen in love with this guy. And remember John, the church, the religion leader that I told you I respect, had convinced me that that was the right thing. So once I'm done with my mom, I'm leaving my mother to process it. I don't know, but I think, yeah, but anyways, I am done with my mother and I'm so excited. I've told friends and everybody is finally so excited for Petra. Finally, she has found love. And I was like, guys, this guy loved me. We just talk. We're just talking. And he's always asking about how my children are doing, blah, blah. So I think he's really, maybe God has brought him to do the right thing in my life. So next was to invite my brother, who is my elder brother, but my father, a figure. So I brought my brother home too, a week after my mom. So I told my brother, I'm like, I have news for you. I've been talking to so and so, and he's asking for a hand in marriage. My brother is very knowledgeable, and actually, this brother of mine is within the age group with my ex. So my brother responded so quickly. It's like, oh, I know him. I know that guy. I know him. I knew him before he moved out. Yeah. So he actually went to school. He was in the same class with my stepbrother. The other one passed on, but rest in peace. So my brother knew him. He also posed, but he didn't say anything. But looking at him, there was knowledge about something that I had no idea as a young person. But anyways, so I am so excited that I've finally introduced this topic to my family, my parents. And what was the next thing that happened? So we are in love. Love bombing is going on. He sends me an engagement ring from Canada. I'm so excited. My first my first relationship, I didn't have to go through the engagement, was this childish thing of school, college, blah blah blah. So I'm so excited about the engagement. Don't even know where the engagement ring is now, but it was an excitement that moment. But when I got my engagement ring, things began shifting. That very evening, once I picked my ring from the post office, the guy said, he actually told me, so there was a lady he was talking to. I'm like, wait a moment, what? Because I had asked him earlier on, he didn't tell me anything like that. So he told me, oh yeah, when he came to Uganda, there was a lady he was introduced to by his sister, and he was talking to this lady, and they were supposed to be going further with the marriage, but he doesn't have feeling for this lady. I'm like, wait, I do not want you to put me in a place where somebody is going to be crying with my name. So if you had put this woman already in a place where she's expecting to move on to get married to you, why are you involving me in this? So he went on and he's like, you know, I love you. And from the time I started talking to you, I have a feeling that you will help me. And I do know that one of the reasons why I want to marry you, bring you to Canada, it is very difficult to settle in Canada. But when you're educated, like you are highly educated, I know that you are an accountant, you are going to be helping me, and I won't have to struggle to establish you, which made sense. So, yeah. But I was like, but why didn't you tell me this before? Was like, I'm so sorry. You know how people can play with our mind. So I forgave him because I was in love with him, and I already believed that this guy tells the truth about everything. So, but that was a big flag. So I continued to be their girlfriend, the fiancé, whatever it was, and I was positive about this relationship. Guys, things started to go beyond. After that, I told you in my other first video that I had children that I was taking care of besides my 3 children. I was told, I don't know if I should use the word order, but I was told you should send those kids that are not your biological kids back to their parents. And I paused. But I was like, you know what? I've not had peace in my life. If I'm going to maybe have peace in my life, I can get these kids out at some point, and I can continue to help them from even if I'm not in Uganda. So little did I know that next would be my children. So now I'm still processing how to do this, how to make these kids who calls me mom. All the kids in my house calls me mom. And because I'm a real mom to them, and I'm doing what a mom is supposed to do. They have their freedom, they're happy, they go out, they're playing. So I'm processing. What should I do? What excuse am I going to tell the kids? At this point, people are miserable in my house. The two other teenage girls are now not happy. And they do know very well if Auntie is leaving Uganda, they don't have a home. People are starting to do everything, jumping left and right, doing whatever they can do to secure their places in the city before I leave, which one of them was settled, although. But this destabilized a very strong family that I had built and that called me a mother and a father. So, guys, as I'm doing that, I'm now starting to let the children know. So Auntie is going to be leaving, but you guys have to go back and study back from the north. That is in the village. I will refer to the village. So the kids are not happy, but you know what? It is what it is, because Petra is in love. Next, the guy said he thinks I should come to Canada alone and leave the children, my own children, in Uganda. Oh my goodness, guys, it woke me up, but again I slept. I should not have. I should have woken up and never slept again. I said, wait a moment. Where did that come from? Remember before I told people that you are in my life, you used these kids to convince me to say yes to you. Now, what are you talking about? At this time, guys, stress is building up. I've already made people to know Petra is in love. Petra has met this nice person. A lot of people are now trying to start to connect who this person is. It wasn't known back home, but because it was rarely coming back. So I'm in between two walls. So I send my kids to my mother and with their cousins for Christmas, and I'm planning. First of all, I had to leave the house. I was very comfortable. Things are just falling apart. But the one thing that happened, I continued to do what I was doing before. That is taking care of my investments. I was building and I was going to school. So what happened, I take my kids to send my kids to my mother during the long holidays. Now, at this point, I don't know when I'm coming back to Canada. The only people coming back to Kampala, the city, because I'm still around in Kampala, the only people coming back to Kampala after holidays, which used to be fun, these kids will all come back together. But now this time, the only people coming back to Kampala, it's my only 3 daughters, which I still haven't even known how I'm going to leave them behind. I have a family, but everybody has what they're doing. For me to start getting married and then I leave my responsibility and scatter everything, it is a big thing. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to ask that, oh yeah, please can you help me take care of my children? And my kids were growing and they were very happy. What I did, I decided to put these kids in Uganda, we call it boarding school. Here it's residential school. I put my kids in residential school just to make them get used to an environment so they can spend the 3 months at school in their residential school. And during holidays, maybe they go back and they will live with my mom. Guys, before I moved, these kids were in residential school for 1 year. Every time I go to see my kids, because I want them to get used to if I happen not to be able to come with them. Every time I go to visit my kids who are living in the dormitory, they are going back. I'm going towards the gate, leaving the school. I'm crying. I'm in tears. And I was not a person who was into the idea of putting kids of the age that I put my kids in boarding school. I went to a boarding school, but it was high school. But seeing my kids, and they're going back to the dormitory, they're crying, I'm also coming out, I'm crying. But in between us, there is this person that I have to do things to fulfill his desire. Little did I know what was behind. I wrecked the life of my nephews. I wrecked everything that I'd built by listening to one person whom I thought was truly in love with me. So that went on. Eventually, He said, okay, it's okay, let's process the visa, including the 3 kids. Guys, how much I prayed to my God. I said, God, do a miracle, please do a miracle, and don't make me leave my children to you in Uganda. You know who my kids are to. I prayed, I fasted, I did, and God did it. First of all, processing the visa, the language, everything after all this happened, when the issue of the children sent the others, the language changed. The language started changing from his side. There were already disrespect. I remember the one thing that the pride in him all came out. It all popped out. And I was like, maybe sometimes he talks to me when he's drunk. I remember one time he told me for them in Canada, they touch African girls from a distance with a stick. When I look at and I remember things like this today, I want to refer to myself as something else, because those were not words that anybody in their right mind should be saying. But I still ignored it. I was like, maybe sometimes he's drunk. So I did continue to do what? Build a house. I moved into my house. And the one thing that happened with the investment, I built my house, I moved into my house, and I also continued with my studies. Remember I told you I was doing my chartered professional accounting. And before I met this guy, everything was going on well. I was going to school, going to work, taking care of my family. Guys, I failed every paper that I registered for when I accepted this marriage proposal. I would try to read. I failed everything. I even tried, I left the chartered professional accounting. I tried the ACCA, because at that point I'm like, even if I'm going to Canada, I don't want to be sitting here waiting and leave this gap. So I was trying to see, let me do this paper, and when I come to Canada, I even have no idea what would happen. So eventually I got to a place where I couldn't even do it. I couldn't read, and I just left the paper. Nothing looked certain at this point. But because I already said yes, and because everybody is excited for Petra, everybody was like, oh, finally Petra has got true love, we are happy. I am like, now, if I turn down this, what will it look like? I just had so much hope that this person is who he has played as he is. Because sometimes he would do that, and then he comes back and he's the sweetest person. The sweetest person. He's like, my wife, blah, 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 my wife, I want my children. I had no idea. So I don't know, maybe it was supposed to have been like that, because after this, all now everything being introduced, and he has also told his family, everybody in our community, in the local community, is very excited for Petra. People knew me. I grew up back home. People knew me, and also people knew him. The majority of people who were there for my wedding, it was because of me, because I'm the one who has friends back home there. So before the marriage, the actual marriage, he suggested that I should apply for a visa as a girlfriend, which I did, but it was rejected. And what happened was, we now concluded and said, okay, since they won't accept any other visa, possibly, we need the marriage to take place so we can present the documents of marriage. Quickly, we decided marriage can take place. And this man plans to come to Uganda. And he landed in Uganda. And I'm going to stop here for today. Next will be the event during the wedding, the marriage, the traditional wedding, and everything. I am so grateful for those of you who went and liked my video. I'm just trying to put out there knowledge about what is going on, because so many people don't know what is going on around the world, and the love life is changed. It's not like in the days of our parents. We have so many people out there who, what they're doing, what they're aiming at, they're looking at making themselves successful by doing anything that they can do on another person. So, and I'm concluding by saying, please, if you see signs, trust your God. And those of you who left home, I know there are many people who left home knowing or being convinced that life is good. Please, I'm truly in love. But so many of you might be out there, you're fearing to come out. Please come out and save your life for your people. If you have children, it will be for the kids. If even your family back home loves you, I'm speaking to encourage anybody who is stuck in a place where they don't know, you think you don't know anybody. It is true, but God will put angels in place. Like God put angels in place to help me in this place where I don't have any family. When I had to leave the house of my ex, I didn't know where to go, but Lord just set angels in place that just made it happen. So don't risk your life in what is not serving you and what is not serving God. It's time to wake up and know the trick that the devil is playing, and these cults that are behind ferrying people from one corner of the earth to the other corner of the earth to isolate people and then use kids or people for what they want. Please get out, speak. I do not care if they do anything to me, because like I said in the other video, I tried to be quiet. I thought they were going to have mercy on me and leave me alone, but they are not. So I'm going to expose. Maybe that was meant to happen. Bye guys, see you next time.